Hey guys, week 28. As you saw from last video, my boat is almost ready, but there's still one horrible thing I have to do before that. I need to sand it all down to apply the third and final coat of paint. Not looking forward to it, but it has to be done. Apart from a few runs and small brush marks that I had on the first coat, and the runs were mainly my fault obviously, I had a much better finish on the first attempt than I had on the second. So I'm trying to recreate everything I did on the first time. Obviously now I have a few tips from you guys, so there's a few things I'm going to do slightly different, but to be honest, I rather have small texture from the roll, very tiny one that I need to go close to see it, than to have edge marks like I did on the second one. So I'm going to use this roller again, not the foam one, because I think I can spread the paint a lot better with this. I bought a new brush though, so let's see how it goes. And I'm thinning the paint by 5% again. And that's it, regardless of what the end result is when I finish this. That's how it's going in the water, because I've got no more paint, that's the last can. And I don't want to be painting it and sanding it and painting it now. That's enough. There you go guys, finished the last coat of paint on my boat and it's already looking better than the first two attempts. And I've just finished painting it. So what did I do different this time from the first and second? Okay, I added a bottle cap of thinner every time I did this section. So I finished these sides of the skids. Before I went and painting the middle part, I added a bottle cap of thinner. Then I mixed more paint. I started this side. Before I went on the other side, I added another cap full of thinner
to the paint. I also kept the brush always dipped in 2 or 3 millimeters of paint, so that prevented the tips from going hard like it happened last time because of the heat. So it was always soaking in there, and before I tipped it I just squeezed all the paint out and then tipped it. I didn't use the foam roller, I used the short hair roller, and that was a lot harder. I can spread the paint a lot better with that. Also, I would go over the wet edge maybe a couple of centimeters, and then I would spread the paint properly, work it properly on the area I wanted to paint. As I was passing the roller for the last time, I would already be thinning the new wet edge, like spreading the paint quite thin there, and then I would come and stop maybe 3-4 centimeters over the wet edge, the old one. I made a compromise really. I probably will have very fine roller marks if I look close, because I have to work the paint a lot longer with the roller. It will probably leave some brush marks as well, but not much. But definitely the worst thing that I could see on my boat on all the attempts was those vertical wet edge marks or dry edge marks. That was horrible, and that I don't think I have. Maybe 1 or 2 where I didn't really work it, but not as bad as I had on the last one. Hopefully the paint will level out as it did on the last coats, and that will look better than any of the other 2. So I'm happy. Finally, I am happy. But to be honest guys, if this had gone as bad as the last attempt, I still wouldn't have sanded again, and I would not paint it again, even if I had time. Enough it's enough. 3 times this was more than enough sanding for me, and in the end I want to be in the water sailing, and the more time I spend in the workshop trying to get a piano, the less time I'm actually sailing. So that's it for now. No more painting this year. Hey guys, look what a friend of mine brought me yesterday. 100% carbon windsurf mast base. I already had this 70% carbon mast base that broke here by the mast step, and I'm going to join these 2 in the same fashion as I did with the yard, and I'm going to create a nice stiff boom for my loose foot sail. I think that the wooden boom I made is way too flexible sideways, so I'm going to make it with carbon masts, which is going to be a lot more rigid than that. I'm going to join them like this using some spruce. Hey guys, unfortunately ran out of battery yesterday just before I pushed these 2 together, but it's there now. So now I'm going to reinforce both ends with probably this much glass cloth. And I'm going to put a bit of cloth here as well, just to make sure these ends don't split or crack or anything. I'm using cloth cut at 45 degrees.
Okay guys, I'm gonna start building my trolley while that boom is drying. I've got 50 by 30 galvanized steel, 2mm thick. It's not gonna be anything too elaborate like I did with the laser. I'm not even gonna put any caps on the end of the tubes or weld it or anything. Right guys, simple trolley, nothing too fancy. Took me only about 4 hours to do this, and I thought these were 2mm thickness, but they're not, they're 1.5. I was welding and I went through a couple of times, and although I'm not the best welder, that shouldn't happen. So I checked the machine, the settings were correct, and when I measured, that was only 1.5 mil. So the guys at the warehouse gave me the wrong tubes. There's quite a lot of bolts behind the wheels. If I put those wheels further back, then all the weight of the boat and the mast and whatever I have in there will be on my hands and not on the wheels. So as is, I have 2.70 m to the axle and 2 meters to the end of the boat. I'll give it a try like as is. If it doesn't work, I will just bring it back, cut it and re-weld it. The place where I leave the boat and where I launch it is right on the beach, only 5 meters from water, and it's declined. So the boat goes in reverse, the water obviously, and then it comes back only 5 meters. So that should be alright, I think. Okay guys, I'm gonna start tidying up this boom, sanding this epoxy, making a couple of holes on each end, and probably paint it black as well.
Guys, guess what came in the mail yesterday? Go on, have a guess. I would say that's a sale. So I finally have my sail. Next week I'm going to be doing some rigging. I won't be ready in time to sail on my birthday, but I will sail on the weekend after, which is quite okay actually. This week I worked 22 hours. I've done the final coat on the hull. I'm okay with it, with the result. It's not as shiny as the second coat, but it doesn't have any runs, it doesn't have any vertical dry edge marks, which drove me crazy on the second one. I couldn't live with that. I can see maybe a bit more of the brush strokes because I worked the roller for longer. So when the brush goes over, the paint doesn't flow as much as it did on the second one. But I much rather have this than the vertical dry edges. I hate those. The temperatures are also a lot higher. While the first coat kept leveling for quite a few hours actually, this one didn't. I didn't notice any difference from, let's say, 2-3 hours after I painted it. That was it. I didn't see any improvement. While on the other ones, it did actually improve over the day, and it was a lot better when I got there in the morning. I could see some differences. I didn't this time. Although I have thinned the paint just as much this time, it did not flow as well after painted. If I had to choose, from all three coats, the first was the best one for me. Unfortunately, I can't just do one coat, and it had one big run on one of the sides, and that had to be fixed. So there's so many variables while painting. You have the brush, the roller, the temperature, the paint, the artist, obviously. So any variation in any of these will bring you different results. Anyway, all that paint talk and all that doesn't matter a thing. After I'm in the boat, all I'm gonna care about is that. That's all I'm gonna look at. I have started the trolley. It's only like kind of spot welded on the axle and the handle. I need to put the boat in there and try it, see how it feels. If it feels okay, I weld it for good. If not, I'm gonna put those wheels a bit more back or forward, I don't know yet, but forward will make it very awkward. So I've been to the sailing school today. That's where my boat's gonna live, 5 meters from the sea, and that's all that trolley has to go. 5 meters down, 5 meters up, straight. Yep. There's no going around, nothing, just put it down straight, bring it up straight. I would like to thank Beira Mar Nautica, that's the sailing school, for keeping the space for me. I sold my laser, and I'm happy because it's gonna stay with one of the kids in the school. So next week I'll take my goats and put it on where the laser was. So guys, stay safe, and I'll see you next week.